Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Crooked Mouth Podcast. A lot of you may be wondering, what does that mean? That means that one side of my face grew and the other did not. Now, let's get started because I've got a short attention span and I'm trying to get you in and I'm trying to get you out. No surprise here, you know, if you live in America, it's summertime. And like most adults, I use my summer being miserable, paying these bills. And I know there's someone out there right now saying, "Oh no, sweetheart, I'm not miserable." Okay, then fucking DM me for my Venmo because I'm trying not to be miserable as well. Like, damn, don't be stingy. Your selfish ass. But back to the topic at hand. It's summertime, and besides the fear of mosquitoes and other various bugs coming to shake me for my lunch money, this time of year also brings back the feeling of nostalgia when I was a kid, little crooked mouth, navigating the space and the world around her. And even though English is my first language, English was very hard for me growing up because English is hard. There's so much ambiguity. There's even miscommunication between two or more speakers who speak native English. Texting is a great example because it lacks tone. How many times have I know I have someone has said, "Wait, like were you joking?" I couldn't tell because it was just so hard to read your tone, via text message. And with that being said, it's especially difficult for when you grow up as a hyphenated American, African American, Korean American, Japanese American, and so on and so forth. Your culture heavily dips and molds and bends the way that English is used in your household. But before I get into that, I do want to get into a couple of examples from how English was so difficult for me, especially in school, where, school is primarily the example of like perfect English, right? Perfect meaning standard English, aka meaning white English. So for me, for example, I had a really difficult time where I don't know about now because I don't have kids, so I don't know what they're doing nowadays. But does anybody remember when you used to say like, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And your teacher will say, "May you go to the bathroom?" And you would roll your eyes and be like, "May I go to the bathroom?" And the teacher would be all smug and shit. Yes, yes, you may. Um, that completely went over my head as a young little cricket mouth. Okay, so I remember in this specifically elementary school, I would say to the teacher, like in elementary school, like kids don't really have like the perfect grasp of the English pronunciation. So instead of saying can, I would like drop the N and then like add the I from, like the pronoun I. So instead of saying can I would like ka, like that. So I one day I said, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And I remember my teacher looked me right in my eye and said, "May you go to the bathroom?" And I didn't know that she was putting emphasis on may as a form of correction. I did not know that she was correcting my English. I thought she was challenging me. And she used may as a potential form to mean, I don't know, can you go to the bathroom? That's what I thought. I know a lot of you are probably like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, that's what I thought at the time. So when I used to say, "Can I go to the bathroom?" and my teacher would say, "May you go to the bathroom?" I always said, "Yes." And then I got up and I went to the bathroom. And for the longest time, it wasn't until I reached adult years, I finally realized that that blank look on my teacher's face was basically saying, "Oh Lord, this little girl, she is doomed." But I didn't know. Like they always said it, and I always answered with yes, because like I said, I thought they were questioning, my body's potential. Like, I don't know, does she have a bladder that allows her to go to the bathroom and excrete fluids? Yes, I do. So I can go. And I would just get up and leave, you know? I remember another example. I'll never forget. It was third grade. Wait, no, it wasn't third grade. Was it fourth? I think it was fourth. Oh no, maybe it was fifth. I never forget my middle school. No, wait, that's still elementary school. Damn, my elementary school teacher. I don't remember if you were like fourth or fifth. Maybe you were sixth. I don't know. But Her name was Miss Avila. I loved her. And like in most, of a child's like elementary, middle school, high school career, so to speak, you have the troublemakers, you have the clowns, right? So this one particular clown, I'm gonna say his name. I don't care. It's been over 12 years. Sammy, or was it Sam? And that particular day, the Miss Avila was upset at the whole freaking class. Okay, she was mad at the whole damn class, and she was one of my favorite teachers. So it pained me to see her upset, and she was so upset with us. We were standing in a line for something, and she was telling us, be quiet. I don't even want to hear you breathe, you know? And I thought, well, shit, maybe there are two kind of breathes, like there's red, the color, and then red, the past tense of the verb to read. Anything is possible with English. And so Sammy, he piped up and he goes, wait, so what am I supposed to do then? And Miss Abila's face, like, oh, I got so scared because I didn't want her to get any more upset than she was now. So I turned to Sam, being his little goody two shoes that I was in elementary school, and I go, not that kind of breathe. Gosh, Sam. And Sam was like, oh, okay. And then we both got quiet. I don't know. Those are just examples of how English was hard. And middle school was tough because um, I got teased growing up. I was bullied, especially in middle school. That elementary school, middle school was like the prime epitome of me being bullied. And I remember it was just one day that apparently, like, somebody in my class, my 7th grade class, decided to pass a note around, and the note was a chart of all the girls in the class listed, and we were rated, the simple 1 to 10, 1 being what's perceived as the ugliest to 10 being perceived as the prettiest. I didn't care because I was bullied, so I didn't care for their opinions because I didn't like them because they bullied me. So I didn't care about that stupid chart, that list. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't asking for it. I wasn't trying to inquire. I didn't give a hot goddamn about that stupid little chart list, right? He put me down as a high number, and one of the popular girls who would bully me, he put her as like a 3 or a 4. And she did not like that. She wasn't happy with that. And she deemed it necessary to come up to me. And, that's how I knew about the list, because she told me. And she goes, I'm sorry. Oh, I gotta be equal opportunity. If I said Sam and Robert, I gotta say the girl's name. Her name was Chantel. There we go. Over here at, Crooked Mouth Podcast, we are an equal opportunity safe space. Everybody gets real names here. And Chantel says to me, I'm sorry, but Robert gave you an 8 and he gave me like a 4. And I just want you to know I look good, okay? And the person I am now, I'm like, okay, this little heifer was insulting me. She was insulting me. She was telling me to my face that I was ugly and that she thought I looked prettier than her, or that she thought she looked prettier than me. Granted, looks are just so, the external self is a lie. Let's just put it that way, because we all know beautiful people who are just black and empty on the inside. But anyway, that can be a topic for another time. That's neither here or there. And I didn't think at the time, like, okay, she's being disrespectful. She's insulting me to my face. What was running through my mind was, okay, first of all, why does Robert's opinion even matter? Because you don't even like Robert. I don't even like Robert. And like, I didn't bully anyone. She was bullying Robert. So it baffled me that she was concerned with what Robert thought about her, even though she clearly didn't think the highest of him. So that was what was running through my mind, not the fact that, she just insulted me, but about the fact that she was so concerned with someone that she would never be concerned with otherwise. Okay? So those are some examples from a school setting of how English was hard for me growing up. And specifically, when it comes to being in a black household, words are always being used against you. I'm about to use some of these cult classics, couple of these favorites, you know. One day I came up to my grandma and I said, "Grandma, I want McDonald's." And I know a couple of you are like rolling your eyes like, "Oh boy, I know where this is going." You damn right. You got McDonald's money? It was always just take the noun out and put in another noun, you know? Grandma, I want new sneakers. You got new sneakers money? Okay, technically it wouldn't be a noun, it would be, I think, an adjective, but whatever. I don't want to confuse myself, you know? You got, I don't know, you got park money, you got basketball shoe money. You know, it's always like that. And at the time, I did not know basically that was my grandmother's way of saying, I'm not getting it for you because I don't have the money, and because you don't have the money, you know, shut up, pipe down. But I remember thinking was, oh my God, Grandma, I'm 8. Geez, of course I'm not gonna have the money. I can't even get a job. I don't even get any loans. You know, those were the things that were running through my mind. Another way that Black families use words against you was if, for example, once again, going back to my good old grandma. Grandma, can we go to the park? And she would say, you can park your ass in front of that TV and watch Dragon Ball Z. I know that much. That's what you can park. And I'm like, Grandma, I can take myself. It's right. You didn't have to. That was hurtful and unnecessary. And I already saw this episode because Vegeta dies, but he comes back. That was, you know, it's just, that's, language was like a huge mystery. Sorry, English was a huge mystery to me. Even to this day, I don't do riddles. I don't do, you know, one of the most famous ones is Tommy's 4, and you know, if his little brother is half his age, how old will his little brother be when Tommy is 98? You know, and the answer is 96. But aha, you hear the word half and you just think, oh, he will be, you know, whatever's half of 96, you know, like stuff like that. Um, Talking about riddles, in particular, when it comes to growing up with my family, a Black family, I remember having trouble with rhetorical questions, or they were like challenges that were wrapped up as questions. Okay, I'll give you an example. My aunt one day, I forgot what it was, but she asked me a question, and I guess my answer was like a sassy answer, you know, because she puts her hand on her hip and she goes, "Who do you think you're talking to?" And I was like, "You, auntie, you the only one here." I thought, see, I did not know that that was that question didn't deserve an answer. There was no proper answer. It was just, you know, pipe down, keep your lips sealed. But I was just like, "Auntie, it's just me and you. We in the kitchen. There's nobody here but us. What do you mean? You said something, I said something. So obviously I'm talking to you." That's what I thought. Or my mom used to say to me, like, let's say if, I don't know, you know, kids, we got energy to burn, which is funny because now that I'm older, all I want to do is nap. But if I was like running around the house or something, my mom would say to me, "And where do you think you're at?" You know, which basically means you're not outside. You may think you're at your little friend's house, but you're not at your little friend's house. You're gonna sit your behind on that goddamn couch and you're gonna watch Dragon Ball Z. No, I'm joking. And I remember saying, like, I said it so proudly. I was like, "In a house," because I thought she was asking me, like, "Where do you think you're at?" For like, oh boy, okay, I can do this, you know? So those are just things that's how I used to deal with these challenges that were wrapped up as questions. I remember when I was younger, oh boy, I used to play with my Barbies. I think it was before they came out with Bratz. I used to play with my Barbies, and you know, I was getting my Barbies, it was like ready to go out, you know, a little night on the town with the Goyles. You know, I was trying to braid their hair, and my mom would jump in and she would say, "Oh, is she going to go see her boyfriend?" And I would say, "No, she doesn't have a boyfriend. She's going out." Like, I would say it with like such strong conviction. And my mom would say, "Oh, well, excuse me." Once again, flying over my head, I would say, "It's okay, mommy, you're excused," you know? And now, right? Big old 2018, there's this concept. I mean, it's always been around, right? But there's this concept called shade, right? throwing subtle jabs that work like a fucking shadow clone jutsu. And as an adult, I have come to realize that I can't catch, for the most part, I can't catch shade when it's being directed towards me. Okay? Long time ago, I used to work for this clothing company. Let's just call it that. And one day I was in charge. I worked in the men's department at this clothing company, and I was in charge of getting coats, men's coats ready for a particular store. There was 12 of them in the city. At the time it was 12 in the city, and it was my job to find the large box of coats and separate the coats accordingly for each store. And I couldn't find the box that supposedly was there. If it was there, how come I can't find it? And with that being said, the person who I was working with, well, if you ask that person, it will be me working under them. And to make a long story short, they marched right up to me and they said, "Oh, and by the way, I found the box of coats." When I can't catch shade, so it took my best friend to tell me, she's throwing shade, right? She's basically saying, you couldn't do it, but I could, and I was right. The box was there all along. That went completely over my head. And what comes out of my mouth? That's great. That means we can finally get these stores, these coats that they've been asking for. So how many did you find? Like, did you find the whole box or did you find like 60? Because at the end of the day, we can still use 60 coats. I was so ecstatic. I was relieved because we finally had the numbers to give to these stores. And that person's face just dropped and they just walked off. And I was like, why are you walking off? Like, I just asked you a question. So, those are just ways. I mean, as I get older, I, with the help of social media, I am starting to catch, these damn shadow clone jutsu euphemisms more often. But in the beginning, it was very, very hard. English is hard, man. It's my native language, but English is hard to me at least. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in, guys. Please don't forget to tap that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Crooked Mouth Podcast. I was trying to get you in and get you out. Bye.